Derived classes cannot directly access private members of the base class. The protected access specifier allows derived classes to directly access members of the base class while not exposing those members to the public. The derived class uses access specifiers from the base class. The outside uses access specifiers from the derived class. Now we will look at what is private inheritance. With private inheritance, all members from the base class are inherited as private. This means private members stay private and protected and public members become private. Note that this does not affect that way that the derived class access members inherited from its parent. It only affects the code trying to access those members through the derived class. Consider the following coding. End of the base class rectangle. Defining the derived class rectangle 1. This class has been derived from the base class in the rectangle privately. Rectangle become private for the derived class rectangle 1. Will not work as it has become private for the derived class. Will not work as it also has become private for the derived class. According to the coding in here, you can clearly identify classes which can access and which can't access. When derived class privately inherits base class, all the public members of the base class become private for the derived class. In this case, the public members of the base class can only be accessed by the member functions of the derived class. The objects of the derived class cannot access the public members of the base class. Note that whether the derived class is inherited publicly or privately from the base class, the private members of the base class cannot be inherited. Protected access specifiers. Protected inheritance is the last method of inheritance. It is almost never used except in very particular cases. With protected inheritance, the public and protected members become protected and private members stay private. The members declared as protected can be accessed by the member functions within their own class and any other class immediately derived from it. These members cannot be accessed by the functions outside these two classes. Therefore, the objects of the derived class cannot access protected members of the base class. When the protected members' data and functions are inherited in public mode, they become protected in the derived class. Thus, they can be accessed by the member functions of the derived class. On the other hand, if the protected members are inherited in the private mode, the members also become private in the derived class. They can also be accessed by the member functions of the derived class but cannot be inherited further. Now we will look at what is hierarchical inheritance. When two or more classes are derived from single base class, then inheritance is called hierarchical inheritance. The representation of the hierarchical inheritance is shown in the following. Student is a base class from which the three classes arts, science and commerce have been derived. Now we will look at what is multiple inheritance. When a class is inherited from more than one base class, it is known as multiple inheritance. This powerful capability encourages interesting forms of software reuse but can cause a variety of ambiguity problems. Multiple inheritance is a difficult concept that should be used only by experienced programmers and do not enable a class to derive from more than one base class. The syntax for defining a subclass which is inherited more than one class is: circle and rectangle are two base classes from which the class cylinder is being inherited. The data members of both the base classes are declared in protected mode. Thus, the class cylinder can access the data member radius of class circle and data member length breadth of the class rectangle, but the objects of the class cylinder cannot access these protected data members. Now we will look at about multi-level inheritance. C++ also provides the facility of multi-level inheritance, according to which the derived class can also be derived by another class, which in turn can further be inherited by another, and so on. Class B represents the base class. The class D1, that is called first level of inheritance, inherits the class B. The derived class D1 is further inherited by the class D2, which is called second level inheritance. A derived type acts just like the base type except for an explicit list of the first point, specialization, and the second point, extensions or generalizations. Now we will look at the specialization. Change implementations without changing the base class interface. Most useful when combined with dynamic binding. Now we will look at using inheritance for specialization. A derived class specializes a base class by adding new, more specific state variables and methods. A variant of this is used in the template method pattern. Behavior of the base class relies on functionality supplied by the derived class. This is directly supported in C++ via abstract base classes and pure virtual functions. Now we will look at the example. Inheritance may be used to obtain the features of one data type in another closely related data type. Class data represent an arbitrary date. Class birth derives from date, adding a name field representing the person's birthday. Now we will look at extensions and generalizations. Add new operations or data to derived classes. Using inheritance for extensions, generalizations. Derived classes add state variables and or operations to the properties and operations associated with the base class. The interface is generally widened. Data member and method access privileges may also be modified. Extensions or generalization is often used to facilitate reuse of implementations rather than interface. However, it is not always necessary or correct to export interfaces from a base class to derived classes.